Stand with the people you trust, with the nurses, with the teachers. Stand for democracy and allow us to finish the term you elected us to serve.
KRON 4 is your election headquarters, and our top story tonight at 10:30. In less than a month, voters are going to decide whether or not to recall San Francisco District Attorney Chesa Boudin.
KRON 4 sat down with the district attorney earlier this evening, live here on KRON 4, and talked about the crime rates in San Francisco and the push to remove him from office.
So we are joined now by the spokesperson of the campaign to recall Boudin, Richie Greenberg. Good evening, Mr. Greenberg.
Hi, thank you for having me tonight. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, you watched Catherine Heenan's interview with the DA. Anything in it that changed your mind?
Changed my mind? No. Actually, I took copious notes, and I ran through many, many pages here. Listen, I want to congratulate Chesa Boudin, actually, and praise him that he actually admitted now, 2.5 years in, that he has virtually no experience prosecuting any cases, and he just did that now and got a conviction, so bravo. But the problem is we're now 2.5 years in, and what does that say for his, he ran in 2019 as a defense attorney, as a public defender, and this is the results of what we see, that he has no experience in what he's doing.
Well, first of all, he ran as a former public defender, but he beat a candidate, Nancy Tung, at the time, was very clear that she was going to be tough on crime, tough on the quality of life issues that are now coming to fore that you and the opposition are concerned about. But nonetheless, she was voted in by he was voted in by the people of San Francisco. That time, there was so much talk about police reform, judicial reform. There was a lot of talk about that, and that was what the people wanted.
Well, there's this thing called ranked choice voting, a pesky little mechanism for how we do a abbreviated form of elections here. And that is what kicked in. The first round, he only got, I think it was 36% of the vote. And the rest of the San Francisco voters actually chose the other 3 candidates combined. So that was a surprise there. But also, he is a charismatic speaker. I admit that. And many people here, they got transformed by what he was saying. They believed in his message. They believed in this thing called restorative justice. However, we have found very quickly that all fizzled, that what he said was just hearsay, was talk. And all of his policies, what he's done compared to what he promised is just not there.
So you have been running advertisements about the recall. And one big claim that was addressed in the interview was that Boudin dissolved a unit that prosecutes car break-ins. His answer to that was no, he didn't, and that essentially if criminal gangs think that they can get away with it, breaking into cars, and they are, it's not because the DA isn't filing charges, it's because the cops are not making busts.
Well, Mr. Boudin is excellent at passing the buck, at blaming someone else, at finger pointing and denying. This is a very unfortunate, from the person who's supposed to be the top prosecutor, the chief law enforcement officer of the city. His policies clearly have green-lighted crime. We have people that are coming in, criminals that are coming in to perpetrate crime from out of the city or local here. Everything from drug dealing to car break-ins. San Francisco, either us residents or small business owners, large businesses or tourists have all been either a victim of a crime or know someone directly who has been a victim of the crime. And this is specifically because Chesa Boudin and his policies they're just not effective at all. Not effective at all.
Mr. Greenberg, if Mr. Boudin is in fact recalled, where does that leave Mayor London Breed? She also has talked about reforms, her support of reforms. At the same time, she's wanted to crack down on a lot of the quality of life issues, particularly in the Tenderloin. She's gotten some pushback from that. It really places her in a rather precarious situation between your side and people who do want to keep someone like Boudin in. Where do you see that placing her? What do you say she should do?
Well, it's interesting. The pushback that London Breed got from declaring the emergency in the Tenderloin was from Tressa Boudin himself. He did not want to have cops come in
But it wasn't
and
just
flood
him.
the Tenderloin.
It wasn't just him, though.
No, but still, he was very vocal about it. Now, you know, by Tressa Boudin being recalled, it's not just him alone. His staff, a lot of his staff who he handpicked or brought over from the defense side, from the public defender's side, they will leave as well. So that's going to unclog the criminal justice system. So whoever it is that London Breed chooses, we are sure is going to be an actual prosecutor, not someone who's a defender, someone who defends the criminals and favors what seems to be favoring the criminals. He will be out, and we'll see an immediate change. There'll be an immediate change in morale. There'll be immediate change in the criminal justice system itself.
All right. As they say, if I can use the cliche, time will tell. We will see what happens, what San Francisco's, decides to vote, which way they want to go. Thank you, the spokesperson for the campaign to recall Boudin, Richie Greenberg. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, now for our 4-zone forecast.